Do you find yourself getting lost for hours on Facebook? Do you update your status over 10 times per day? Are you spending more time chatting online with friends than spending time with them in the real world? If you've answered yes to any one of these three questions, then you may be addicted to Facebook. Psychologists in America have developed a new term to categorize this form of compulsive behavior. FAD, or Facebook Addiction Disorder, is believed to affect over 300 million people, which represents over half the total amount of the website's user base. There are 6 criteria that are representative of Facebook addiction. In order to be diagnosed with the disorder, users must exhibit at least 2 or 3 of these criteria. The need to continually increase the amount of time spent on Facebook in order to achieve a feeling of satisfaction is known as tolerance. Signs that a user is exhibiting the tolerance criteria can be often demonstrated by how many Facebook windows they have open at one time. 3 or more windows usually means they have a problem. Anxiety levels increase when a user reduces or discontinues use of Facebook. Withdrawal symptoms are accompanied by the inability to properly function in a social situation or work environment. 80% of all communication is body language, so the written word is a lousy replacement for a face-to-face conversation. The third sign of Facebook addiction is the migration of real-world social interaction with wall posts and personal messages. Even phone calls can be replaced by Facebook chats or comments. Perhaps the saddest sign of FAD is virtual dating. Addicted users sometimes replace real dates with Facebook chats. Maybe romance really is dead after all. Can you name all of your 250 friends on Facebook? Do you even know who most of them are? If 8 out of 10 of your friends on Facebook are strangers, then you most certainly have a problem, and potentially a privacy one also. Complete addiction is epitomized when meeting new people and after introducing yourself you conclude with "I'll see you on Facebook" or "find me on Facebook." So what is it about this social networking website that makes it such a compelling and addicting environment? There is no doubt that the element of escapism into a virtual constructed world is appealing to many users. The ability to share personal aspects of our lives, our thoughts and feelings may seem questionable from a security perspective, but it does satisfy our egotistic need for attention. It also encourages and reinforces voyeuristic habits. The brief buzz that users experience from positive comments, likes on their photos, and friend requests only further add to the enticement. In fact, this momentary high has been compared to the thrill a gambler experiences from placing a bet. The term social networking seems like a bit of an oxymoron. After all, a real-world, literal interpretation of communicating with people on Facebook would be similar to going to a house party where all the people are separated into different rooms and the only way they communicate is by sliding notes under the door. Furthermore, the majority of users admit that they have very little interest in being on Facebook and tend to rationalize their continued presence on the website as a good way of staying connected with friends and family or loved ones abroad. In actuality, email and Skype are more than sufficient and arguably more personal ways of doing this. Even moderate users of Facebook feel trapped after only a few months of use because of the social pressure to be part of the online crowd. It can be difficult to quit the site because to do so could fill them with feelings of exclusion and emptiness. This guilt effect is all part of the developing dependency on this form of social media. Facebook is encouraging introverted and unsocial behavior where users replace real human interaction with time spent zombified in front of a computer screen. Naturally, this obsessive activity raises concerns about mental health issues. The isolation created by prolonged periods of time spent alone on a computer or on a smartphone has led many users into depression. Facebook can highlight underlying insecurities and increase unhappiness because users tend to overestimate the happiness of others. Alex Jordan of the Stanford University Psychology Department conducted a study of 80 freshmen. They were asked to report on whether their peers had recently experienced negative or positive emotional events. More often than not, the subjects tended to underestimate the negative incidents that their peers may have experienced. They were more likely to remember the positive emotional experiences like going to parties and vacations. In a related study, it was discovered by researchers that the more subjects underestimated the negative experiences of others, the more their own feelings of loneliness and misery began to surface. These findings may have something to do with the competitiveness of social networking because users will often compare their profiles to those of their peers. The more elaborate, colorful, and fun a user's profile might be, the more feelings of envy and inadequacy increase. Users log into Facebook and paint on their happy faces, presenting an idealized version of reality where success is perceived by our photographs, the number of friends we have, and the witty comments we make. Career history and achievements are displayed like trophies for all the world to see. Status updates of daily minutiae are presented in an insufferably positive light, creating an illusion of happiness. We had a lovely picnic, our daughter just said her first words. This false reality is not only generated by the presence of positive comments, but by the absence of negative or downbeat ones. The best part of a night out with friends seems to be the photographs that we upload the following day, which are used to present an image of being super social and enjoying life regardless of whether the night was actually fun or not. This naturally invites comparisons to be made between people, where they will invariably judge everyone else's life to be better than their own. It is Facebook's cultivation of a spirit of one-upmanship that has allowed a distorted view of reality to develop. This, in turn, can increase feelings of sadness and depression in those who compare their situations and experiences to their Facebook peers. Now, ironically, I'm going to ask you to share this video with your friends on Facebook because I'd lay good odds that you know someone who is a prolific Facebook user and may indeed be suffering from FAD. For them, this video might be the most important post on their wall today.